Key U.S. lawmaker McHenry says that the House has a workable stablecoin bill. What does this mean for the crypto market? Will we get crypto regulation, stablecoin regulation in 2024? We just might before the elections. So we're going to talk about that today. Welcome back to the Blockhash podcast channel. So let's dive into this article. I'll give you my thoughts at the end as always. Make sure to like the channel, hit that like button, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. All right. So the House Financial Services Committee chairman, in his final year in Congress, is still optimistic about passing a U.S. stablecoin bill. Good for you, McHenry. And Senator Cynthia Lummis said the Senate's majority leader is open to it. So McHenry said we have a workable frame. The chairman of the House Financial Services Committee said at Coinbase's update, the system summit in Washington on Wednesday, I think we're at a place where we can see the airport. We can see where we're going to land the plane. We can see how we're going to land the plane. We just don't know when we're going to land the plane. McHenry has been working with his panel's top Democrat, Rep. Maxine Waters, on a stablecoin bill for nearly 2 years. And month over month, we're in a better position, he says. But with the ongoing debates over federal spending plans that have locked up Congress, we said the lawmakers need to get past the budget issues to be able to get into the legislation he hopes to accomplish before his announced retirement at the end of this session. The House is aiming to vote on his latest effort to fund the federal government this week. Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming also spoke at the event, saying that those who are working on the stablecoin bill in the Senate are speaking daily with their House counterparts, and she predicted that a compromise bill is the most likely crypto legislation to make it in 2024. Now, the administration's willingness to move forward with stablecoin legislation, I think, makes it by far the most optimal portion of this to move forward, Lummis said, noting that Senator Chuck Schumer, the majority leader of the Senate, has said he's willing to consider such a bill. McHenry's committee has previously passed a stablecoin bill in his committee with a bipartisan vote that saw several Democrats supporting the Republican-driven version despite Waters' opposition. So McHenry called the push for crypto very important for humanity. I agree. I think this is something that's been in the works. Well, I don't think it has been. It has been in the works for a long time. And not just the stablecoin bill, but there was a token taxonomy act. There was a bunch of other things that were on the table that just never made it through. And I think it's way overdue at this point for us to get legislation. And I think we need it so that we can understand in the market how to treat crypto, whether it's for tax purposes with the SEC, with the CFTC, as a business and a corporation, as a retail investor, as a small business owner, if you get it as income, if it's, something you're trading, you have a cap gain or loss on, how are you treating these assets? And then for remittance purposes and sending money, these things really do matter. We need to decide if crypto is going to fit into an existing asset class. Like, is Bitcoin in the same asset class as gold? Is it in the same asset class as Apple stock? Or is Bitcoin its own asset class? Crypto is its own asset class, which is what I believe. So we need to set this straight within the US because we have a lot of companies that have fled because of the regulatory environment and agencies like the SEC regulating through enforcement, and that does not help. And the US is the biggest economy in the world when it comes to the crypto market and startups and innovation. We don't want to see that leave. We don't want to see investment, VC funding stop completely either. So in order to create a confluency to make this happen, we need it to go through Congress. So I'm glad that there's some bipartisan push, for this to actually happen. And there's some agreement both on the Republican and Democratic side. Makes me a little bit more optimistic that this could happen in 2024. What's really going to matter is what goes into that bill. We don't want this to be legislation that makes crypto harder in the US. We want it to be legislation that just clears the air so we know what to do. Like, that's the biggest thing. So will we get that in 2024? It is a possibility. What will that look like? I have no idea. I don't think anyone really does. We're still at a very early stage. We have elections coming up in the US this year, and that's going to be a huge distraction point. There's going to be a lot of Democrats wanting to posture their own bills and things they want to put through to try and bolster Biden. And so they may not want to work with Republicans going into the summer and the fall. So who knows how that kind of shakes up. That's just how politics is. And I think we're just gonna have to wait and see, guys. But it's interesting that this continues and that there is bipartisan support, and it's likely that we will see it at some point. I'd love to see crypto put into its own asset class and this get cleared up so that we can stop dealing with the fucking SEC trying to sue the Ethereum Foundation or trying to go after Coinbase and Binance for the dumbest reasons, creating so much pressure on this industry that doesn't need to exist. Like, I want problems to be cleaned up too, but I don't need a Boy Scout out there trying to tear down everything we've worked hard to build, especially when we've tried to do everything right. It's not our fault the space is unregulated. That's for the politicians we put into power to do. Go regulate it. Just pick and choose at this point. Just go do it. But don't blame people. Like, God, let the innovation happen and flourish. That's all I'm saying. That's it for this episode. Just wanted to cover that and where we're at in terms of a regulatory aspect in the US with crypto. And this is still something in motion. The stablecoin bill, more so likely to go through. I think someone was talking with Jerome Powell the other day when he said he was going to keep interest rates paused between like 5.25 and 550. And someone asked about like CBDCs, and he's reaffirmed again the Federal Reserve doesn't have any plan for CBDCs. I believe him. I don't think they do. I don't think they really fucking understand a CBDC in the first place, nor do they want to go that direction yet. But stablecoin bill would help clear some of that stuff up too, because do we want a digital US dollar at some point? What do we want that to look like? Do we want it owned by the government? Do we want it decentralized? Should the people have more of a say in this? As well as other coins like USDC, Tether, etc., Gemini coin, like in the US, being able to trade Paxos, Gemini coin, Gemini dollar, I believe, being able to not trade, but use for remittances and payments and create a token economy for the first time. Like we really need a stablecoin bill, but we need a crypto bill as well. So let's see what happens. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I want to know what you guys think about this and where you think this might be going. If you've heard anything else as well in terms of news, please share it down below. Make sure to also hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you have already, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Cheers.